So I wanted to come on here and do a video about these two rotten POSs. And I've done videos about these two in the past. I've probably done more videos about her. Now, at first I was going to leave it alone because, Lisa, shout out to Lisa Cabrera, because she actually sent me an article via email about the Coonstress and some things that she has said in the wake of what happened with Alec Baldwin on that set. But then I got an article in Discord basically of Donald Trump Jr. now chiming in and doing basically the same thing. And basically what's going on, both of them are being very petty in this situation. Listen, y'all know me. I do Triple P like it's nothing. I just did one the other day. But these two are making a mockery of a tragedy. And that's when it starts to draw the line, because someone actually died because of this, and someone got was listed as in critical condition because of this as well. So I know boundaries, but these two right here don't, especially that one on the left. Well, both of them do. Let me take that back. Both of them, neither of them do. So I'm going to start with one, and then I'm going to go to the other because they're two different articles. So I'm going to start with Donald Trump Jr. Basically, what he did is he has now come out with t-shirts, or he's selling t-shirts that says, in so many words, guns don't kill people, Alec Baldwin kills people. And let me be honest, the reason why they're doing this is because, if y'all are familiar, and I'm sure many of you are, Alec Baldwin has done, well, at least while 45 was in office, he did a lot of SNL skits imitating 45. Like, he did one and it was so extremely popular and people loved it that they called on him to do them on a continuous basis, to the point where I almost thought he was a part of the cast at one point. But he was doing them because his impersonation of 45 was so well done, and some people didn't like it, like the two that you see on your screen. And now this is their chance to take a dig at his current situation. Although it doesn't even add up, because he was doing it for comedic effect. They're doing it to get back at him or hit him at his lowest, when he's clearly going to be going through something right now, because that will psychologically mess anybody up. Like, it's an accident for what happened, but at the end of the day, someone did die. So that plays on your mental capacity. But this is like literally the epitome of kicking someone while they're down, and they're enjoying this. So we're starting with Donald Trump Jr. He said he released some t-shirts mocking him, and it said, guns don't kill people, Alec Baldwin kills people. So let me go ahead and get into this article that's coming from the Daily News. He says, Donald Trump Jr. is using a tragedy to mock Alec Baldwin, who skewered his father on Saturday Night Live. A t-shirt that reads, guns don't kill people, Alec Baldwin kills people, is selling for $27.99 on a merchandise site linked to the former president's namesake's son. The reference is to last week's killing of cinematographer Helena, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing her name, but I think it's Helena Hutchins, who was hit by a discharge from a prop gun while working on the Baldwin film Rust. Baldwin, the film star, was handling the weapon from which the fatal shot was fired. The movie's director was injured too. Trump Jr.'s merchandise site also sells shirts that read, my God, my family, my guns, and my freedom. The 43-year-old scion is a vocal gun advocate who frequently poses with firearms and posts photos of animals he's killed. Last year, he hosted an Alaskan hunting trip to raise money for Safari Club International. The t-shirt Trump Jr. is pushing is in line with anti-Baldwin comments the former reality TV judge made on social media over the weekend. He suggested Sunday that Baldwin, a progressive who's active politically, will blame the gun for Hutchins being shot. Some light-minded Instagram users weighed in to suggest, without any evidence, that the killing was no accident. Other right-wing pundits also teed up on Baldwin after Hutchins' death. Commentator Candace Owens, which I'm going to do a whole, I'm going to go into her article separately, accused Baldwin of the quote-unquote murder of innocent people, which she later corrected, which she seems to do a lot nowadays, because she always likes to put her foot in her mouth. I'm telling you, her foot is so far down her esophagus that it's coming out of her ass. She's literally shitting her own foot. Notice the choice of words she said. She said, of the quote unquote murder. So these were her words. But keep in mind, this is the same woman that just said like a week ago or over a week ago that the U.S. needs to go invade Australia. But like I said, she's so comfortable over there now that they just let her say anything that she wants. But like I said, she's going to slip up eventually. GOP Congresswoman Lauren Boebert and Republican Senator candidate J.D. Vance mocked Baldwin, with the latter asking that the former president being reinstated on Twitter so he could address his former tormentor. They make it seem like Alec Baldwin was trolling and bullying 45 on social media. All he did was impersonations of him on Saturday Night Live. And the thing is, 45 is not the first or last president that they will ever imitate. They do. Jim Carrey does a very good impression of 46. And I know they've done impersonations of Obama and all other presidents in the past. That's how SNL is. SNL has been doing presidential impersonations since SNL has been in existence. This is not new. But because they are in their feelings and they feel like got to protect 45 at all costs, now they want to come out and they want to say something because it's him. But if it's anybody else, it doesn't matter. Those comments drew fire from his Democratic rival in Ohio, Tim Ryan, who tweeted, "Someone died, you a-hole." Even Fox News host Janice Dean urged Vance to take down his tweet. Baldwin's impression of former President Donald Trump on SNL angered the Donald, who questioned the long-running program's legality in a 2018 Twitter rant about unfair news coverage. It's a skit show. And they want to talk about sensitivity. Hypocrisy at its finest. Trump and Baldwin feuded on Twitter in March of that year, with the 45th president claiming the actor's dying mediocre career was revived by his impersonation of the commander-in-chief. Trump was banned from the platform following the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. Baldwin tweeted his feelings of shock and sadness following Thursday's fatal shooting and said he was cooperating with investigators. He had reportedly been told the firearm was cold. According to a new affidavit, Baldwin was training his pistols on a camera when the shot was fired from his gun. Rust director Joel Souza reportedly claimed Baldwin was rehearsing a cross draw at the time of the killing. The filmmaker said he was looking over Hutchins' shoulder and heard a whip and then a loud pop before the two of them were struck. CNN reports that camera operator Reed Russell heard Hutchins say she could not feel her legs as medics tried in vain to keep her alive. He also said in the affidavit that Baldwin had been very careful handling the gun on set. Hilaria Baldwin, the 63-year-old actor's wife, tweeted Monday her sympathies for Hutchins and her family and her own husband as well. "My heart is with Helena," she wrote Monday on Instagram, "her husband, her son, their family, loved ones, and my Alec." A pair of vigils were held for Hutchins over the weekend. One took place in New Mexico, where she died. The other took place in Burbank, California, outside the International Cinematographers Guild. Her death inspired a push for safer film sets where guns are used. And I told myself that I have a feeling that's the direction they were about to go in the future. Let's see. I'm actually going to forego the rest of the article because it really kind of takes away from what I'm going at. And then I'm going to pause this right quick, get the article, retrieve the one that Lisa sent me so I can read the one about this one on the right. Okay, so now I am back. And this one is coming from the Daily Mail. It says conservative pundit Kunstras attacks Alec Baldwin over accidental shooting, calling it poetic justice for his previous criticism of Donald Trump. Now, before I get into this, neither one of these two had anything sympathetic to say about the deceased. No, I'm sorry about what happened. My prayers are with you, with the family, and so on and so forth. No, they immediately started to attack Alec Baldwin because he did impersonations of Donald Trump on SNL. But they want to talk about victimhood, sensitivity, and whatever else that they claim that they don't like or are against. And here they are acting out in that same manner. That's why I cannot take anything that these people, whether they are on the left, the right, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican, I can't take either one of them seriously because both sides do double speak better than any one of us ever could. But let's go ahead and get into it. Candace Owens has sparked a huge backlash after claiming Alec Baldwin's accidental shooting was poetic justice following the actor's criticism of Donald Trump. The conservative pundit, age 32, has since deleted her provocative tweets and Instagram posts after criticizing Baldwin over the shooting that killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Now, here's the thing. If she felt so conservative in her views, why did she delete them? My guess is because one, people went in on her ass, which I'm very certain is what happened, and two, she realized she made an ass out of herself yet again. She constantly does that, and this is the one that these so-called idiots want to be president. Candace for president. Candace, are you sure? Not with someone who does something like that. Candace, keep it up. Then you'll be joining 45 in the dumpster fire where old Twitter accounts go to lie and burn. Owens wrote, Alec Baldwin spent 4 years dedicated to painting Donald Trump and his supporters as evil murderers. Where? I never heard that. I never saw that. Did any of you see that? Then again, I don't know, because I don't follow Alec Baldwin on Twitter, but I never heard about it either. And I'm sure that if he did, a lot of news publications would have been talking about it for sure. And I didn't see one, because trust and believe, if it did, I might have talked about it in the video, but I didn't see any. Did y'all see any? Because I never saw it. But then again, she's doing the work in which she's assigned in her role. This is par for the course for her. What has happened to Alec would be an example of poetic justice if it weren't for the actual innocent people that were murdered by him. Pray for their family, so sad. So she threw a little prayer in there, but it was a backhanded thing. She ain't mean that. Because she didn't even start off with that. She didn't even lead with that. She ended with that. So she was ready to take the dig before she offered the sympathy. The right-wing talk show host then added, "We'll correct that last tweet to say Alec Baldwin, quote unquote, killed someone." See, she went from murder to kill. She meant that. And she was hoping that it would stick. Because here's the thing. All they can say now is that Alec Baldwin accidentally killed someone. For her to come out and say that he murdered someone, that isn't even under the title of alleged. Because they never claimed that he murdered her. To murder means that he had intent to do it. And when she says that, she could get sued. She should get sued for defamation of character, because he didn't murder anybody. Like, they didn't say that he murdered her. But that's what she said. That's what she put. That's why she had to change the tweet. That's why she had to delete the tweet. But the thing is, the internet is forever, and screenshots are a MFer. The right-wing talk show host says you kill someone, not murder someone, as murder carries a different legal definition. Literally not one single thing that Alec Baldwin has said about Donald Trump and his supporters is going to age well. Literally, and let me keep going. Owens' remarks prompted fury online, with many accusing her of trying to profit politically from the tragic death of Hutchins. She's a grifter. That's what she does. One person called the commentator spineless and said the tweets were below her. Trust and believe. She can go even lower than that. One person called the commentator spineless, and I already read that part. Another wrote that her response to the tragedy was tasteless, saying Baldwin's politics had no bearing on the shooting. And I'm going to read to you what some of the people said. One said, "How dare you? A real tragedy has struck, lives are changed forever. You are a coward and you are spineless. Shame on you. My heart and prayers go out to all the individuals involved in the tragedy." Someone else said, "Come on, Candace. I like you most of the time, but this is really below you." Someone says, "I have a genuine dislike for Alec Baldwin, but I would never wish an accident like this on anyone, not even him. This is tragic. We don't have all the facts. Something is not right with the story that has come out. This is not a political opportunity." So you even have people that claim that they don't like him, people who may be conservative and everything like that, people who are fans of Donald Trump, who even say that Candace Owens went overboard. And she always goes overboard. And I think a lot of the people, especially palm-colored people, even some of the ones that have propped her up in the past, are starting to see the error in all of her ways. But the thing is, it's too late. We've been seeing and called this chick out for who she is, and seeing her for every face that she has. Because I think this woman is more than two-faced. This woman is probably quadruple, quintuplet, so on and so forth. This woman has more than one face. And she shows every last face every single time she can. And one of them is on her rear end. Baldwin, a lifelong Democrat, played Trump on SNL and once referred to the president and his supporters as a gallery of monsters. The 30 Rock star also, you know what's so crazy? She said a gallery of monsters. The way Candace puts it, she made it seem like that monsters translates to murderers. Or maybe that's how she heard it. The 30 Rock star also went on a rant about how Trump was causing a moral collapse of the U.S. and compared him to Adolf Hitler. He wrote after the 2020 election, buried Trump in a Nazi graveyard and put a swastika on his grave. The majority of Americans made the right choice. Trump is a maniac. His SNL impressions upset the president, who blasted in 2019, "Nothing funny about Saturday Night Live" on fake news NBC. Wasn't 45's Apprentice show on NBC? Can someone let me know down in the comments? Question is, how do the networks get away with this total Republican hit jobs without retribution? Likewise for many other shows. Very unfair and should be looked into. This is the real collusion. Trump was responding to a typically caustic sketch by Baldwin from the previous night during the border emergency. Baldwin joked, "We have a tremendous amount of drugs flowing into the country from the southern border, or the brown line, as many people have asked me not to call it. Or that's why we need wall, because wall works, wall makes safe. We have a tremendous amount of drugs flowing into the country from the southern border, or the brown line, as many people have asked me not to call it," Baldwin said. "That's why we need wall, because wall works." Owens has previously landed herself in hot water on numerous occasions for her controversial comments. She claimed basically that 2018 mail bombing attempts that targeted prominent Democrats were being orchestrated by leftists before a Trump supporter was arrested. She deleted her tweets and offered no further explanation. Owens has pushed I'm not going to say it, conspiracy theories, and was embroiled in a high-profile spat with rapper Cardi B. So these are some other responses. Someone said, "This is tasteless. This tragedy has no bearing on Alan Baldwin's politics or previous roles. A woman is dead because of an accident. Stop it." Someone else said, "People expressing condolences to the family and Mr. Baldwin are getting a lot more clicks than your hate. Most Americans are decent people with empathy. On something like this, your usual shock value is more than offensive. You should stop hopping on every bandwagon and remember that a family lost a loved one. Show some respect." And that's pretty much it. It then goes into some other stuff, much like the previous article. But yeah, these two right here are two peas in a pod, and they're immature, very. Like, Donald Trump Jr. is in his 40s. Candace is 32. She's the same age as me. And they both act like school children with this. But like I said, she has to continue to grift because that's the only way she's going to keep her lights on. And as far as Donald Trump Jr., he's going to be an asshole till the day he dies. I've come to accept that. I mean, after all, look at who his dad is. But I just wanted to bring that to y'all attention. Some of y'all are probably not going to really care either way when it comes to this story. But I said, let me go ahead and just talk about it. Because like I said, I wasn't going to talk about it if it was just focusing on her, because I'm waiting for the moment. Y'all know I always keep talking about the moment. But since someone sent me the story about this, I said, why not combine the two, since they're both doing the same kind of dig. Like I said, y'all know me. I do the triple P's like it's nothing. I love doing them. But what sets mine apart from theirs is that they're taking a dig at the expense of a person who accidentally killed someone on the set while they're literally psychologically going through probably a mental crisis at this point. Because I couldn't even imagine. Like, remember when Brandy back in the early 2000s had got into that accident and she accidentally killed someone, and you had all these people, mainly white people, come out and call her a murderer? Like, they call her everything but a child of God. They said she needs to leave the industry. She needs not sing anymore, act anymore. They kept calling her murderer and everything like that. And her career for a little bit took a hit because of that. And then she had to like rebuild herself back up to where she is now. So I'm telling you, America at its core can be an ain't shit nation. I'm just saying. So you know, if they feel like they can get a dig at you any type of way they can, and I think the person that Brandy killed accidentally was a white person. The thing is, the family didn't want to press charges on her. They just said, you know what, it was an honest accident. It happened. You know, we're not going to hold this over her head. We're not going to call her a murderer. Leave it at that. The only people that had a say in that was the family of the deceased. Anybody else who called her a murderer, like, if I was able to find out who did that, I would sue them for defamation of character. Like, really. But like I said, the same thing that they're doing with Alec Baldwin in this case is the same thing they did with Brandy back in the early 2000s. It's no different. The only difference is Brandy is a black woman and Alec Baldwin is a white man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.